welcome. Today we're gonna do albondiga soup. I like to mix it up a little bit with this classic recipe and add chorizo in the meatballs. I also love to add lots of fresh veggies. So we'll go ahead and start. I'll give you some of the tips in the meantime while we do the video, and grab a spoon, let's eat. Let's start off with chopping our onion. We're gonna get a few things together to make the base of this soup. I like to make small diced onion pieces for this one. Get a bowl and set that off to the side. Get your celery ready. Get those butts off of the celery. They usually dry out and I don't like adding those for flavor. I try to stick to the fresh part of the celery. That goes in with its little onion friends. Grab your carrot and get that ready for slicing and dicing as well. If you notice, I usually have a bowl off to the side where I put all of the scrap pieces. It just helps me to be able to save time and not have to run back and forth to the trash can, so I like to have a little bowl there. Might be a helpful tip. Alright, you put a little bit of oil in a hot pot or pan. I like to use a Dutch oven, it really helps with the heat. Little piece of carrot there. Check your heat, make sure it's hot enough that the oil is starting to sizzle up a little bit there. Some garlic. Make sure all those little pieces get to know each other and cover that over with a lid. Once things are starting to get a little steamy there and the flavors are starting to get to know each other, work on that tomato. Make sure you get small dices there. Mix that all around. The tomatoes will release some water, so you'll get a little bit more of that liquid in there and some salt to help with the flavor as well. Let that there for a little bit. A few minutes later I went ahead and opened to check to see where we were at. Time for the seasonings. The dried cumin there. Make sure you give that a good mix. If you notice, I often put the lid in just so that all of those flavors start steaming together. The heat will help with that, so I like to do that and add in your chicken broth, chicken stock, or any sort of stock that you've got on hand. I typically use beef, but I didn't have, so we went ahead and substituted. I really like to use red skin potatoes, especially for this. I like the flavor of it. But whatever you've got on hand kind of works with anything there. Getting some more garlic ready, and this will be for the meatballs itself. I like to use a bigger bowl or container. Get the ground beef there, just because, as you'll see, it takes a little bit of work to work in both the chorizo and the ground beef. If you have some room in your bowl, that really helps. Now, this is the fun part. I like to wear gloves because I don't necessarily love the texture on my fingers, but you can go ahead and work those two in. At this point, you want to make sure to incorporate the egg. This will help the albondigas stick together when it comes to the cooking process. The rice will expand as well in the soup, so don't have to worry about that being raw. Go ahead and put that in. And all this ooey gooey funness here. Some mint. Really like the flavor of this. My mom taught me that little trick of mint. Really helps to kick off the flavors. Making sure to really incorporate those two meats. You're gonna start by making tiny little balls and just kind of move it around between the palm of your hands and your fingers. They should be about that size. And then once you've made all of your little meatballs, set those off to the side. I like to use zucchini in the albondiga soup. I really like the flavor, but I try to make it a point to make the slices a little bit thicker. That way they don't fall apart too much in the soup with all of the heat. Any type of zucchini or squash that you've got should work, just as long as you keep in mind that you don't make the slices too thin. And then the bigger pieces I usually cut in half. Same reason, I just don't want them to be too big or to kind of fall apart. At this point, as I'm checking the soup, I'm making sure that it's reached the boiling point, so I'm going to put it up just a bit. I want to do that before adding in the albondigas. And also I taste for flavor. It's looking good. So we'll go ahead and add the albondigas. It's important to do this one by one and not just dumping all of them in, especially so they can keep their size and shape, really have a chance to get to know the broth. So after I do that, I go ahead and add in the zucchini, making sure to do this at the end because they will get tender and squishy. About 15-20 minutes later, I'll give it a little bit of a mix, make sure that everything's cooked. And about the half an hour mark, we should get that reddish color to the soup, and the albondigas and the rice and everything is all fully cooked. Lots of flavor, some really great vegetables, and you're ready to enjoy. I hope that you enjoyed that recipe. This is one of those favorite comfort foods, a classic little twist on it, and hope you enjoy it. As always, I'll put the recipe in the description box below for you and link any of the tools that we use as well. Your support is really, really important to us, so we appreciate the subscribes, the likes, and the comments. It helps us to keep making more videos. So thank you for that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. As well, so grab a soup, grab a spoon. We're gonna make soup, grab a spoon, let's eat.